loves, my name is Jessica and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, make sure to go check out my other American Horror Story cult reviews. They'll be in the playlist linked down below. So let's just dive into this episode. Kai and his cult decide that the media needs to be more scared. The media hasn't really seen the clowns. Bob, Beverly's boss, basically did not show the footage, of course, of Emma Roberts' murder we saw last week. And Kai feels like if the community actually sees the clowns' murders instead of just the red spray paint faces and, you know, the rumors about people missing and being murdered, if people actually see the murders, then Kai believes that this is going to help his numbers for the race of the city council to go up, that he'll get more votes towards him. For Allie, Allie is alone. Ivy took Oz, and Allie's trypophobia is really triggered in this episode, and not only through holes on herself or holes in a truffle or anything, but even just a grave that we see later in this episode. And the word holes is thrown around a lot, like not just like physical literal holes, but holes in the sense of that there are holes missing in this plot. The cult takes out their weak link, and Kai's backstory, I assume this is his legit backstory that he told the truth of. That backstory is revealed. There's the gist, and let's just go into the standout scenes. Let's first off go to the one that I'm sure everyone was like, ha, at their screens when it was revealed that Ivy is indeed a member of the cult. Now, I didn't predict this on camera, but I wasn't surprised when it was revealed that Ivy is indeed a part of the cult. And that just goes back to all of these like articles and other YouTubers I've seen that like Allie is the most likable character. Like, she started out as the least likable character, and everyone hates Allie and blah blah blah. And then I started seeing people saying they hate Ivy. And after I heard that like 2 episodes ago, I'm like, yeah, Ivy's totally unsupportive. I hate Ivy more than Allie too. Like, Allie's more sympathetic and Ivy's kind of just a bitch. And now I really see why well, okay, it's probably unfair to call her a bitch. Basically, the reason why she's in the cult and why she is partly going against Allie as well is because Allie voted for Jill Stein. And Ivy wants a change like the rest of them, like Winter does. These are all... Now, I don't know why Kai is like... You know, I don't think Kai is really a true Trump supporter. I think that he was for Trump winning because that was everyone's fear that was happening. So Kai wanted Trump to win and bring out people's fears, and so he can kind of start his own world domination process that he's going through. Another standout scene is that they kill Bob. Specifically, Beverly is the one who kills him. And I did like that scene, just the reveal of Beverly revealing herself to Bob, because Bob has treated her like shit the whole time. So in a way, it was revenge and justice for Beverly, and then Beverly kills him. Hi, baby. And that murder, of course, is filmed, and then Beverly reports the murder for Baba, the loss of a colleague and friend. And, you know, at first I didn't really think too much of Beverly, but I think it's very comical and a jab at how the news is today, of how you have these, like, in some cases, smiling reporters reporting this awful, tragic news, and the fact that the whole fake news thing is brought up. So another kind of reveal in this is that Allie spies on Harrison. She sees him dragging around a bag. all along this episode, the cult is talking about a weak link, and I guess the audience is meant to assume it's Meadow because Meadow is missing, not dead. Well, Allie finds Meadow in a hole in Meadow's and Harrison's backyard. It's also revealed that Harrison and the detective are making out. They're hooking up. Like, that was kind of a duh. Like, why else would the detective really be there? So Meadow gets out of the hole and she goes to Allie and she basically spills the tea of that there's this cult. Her husband Harrison is involved, the police are involved, and Ivy is involved. One interesting thing to me is that I guess the cult really doesn't know about Meadow's whereabouts because Harrison, like, Ivy asks, where's Meadow? And Harrison tells Ivy that Meadow is at a friend's. So I guess they don't really know where Meadow is or what's going on. Meadow's still alive. Someone grabbed her. We're not too sure who that someone is. I kind of assumed it was Kai, but I don't know. And this scene then goes back to the cult, and Kai is talking about the weak link, and they go down in the basement where RJ, and I'm sorry, if in the comments, can you please tell me who RJ specifically was? Was he just a background character that I didn't really pay much attention to? Or was he ever really formally introduced or anything? So anyways, they have RJ in the basement because they think, or Kai believes RJ's the weak link, so they put nails in his head. Yeah, that scene was, like, I understood the point of it. It was hard to watch. It, you know, shows that all these people are unified. After that scene, we have Beverly and Kai doing pinky to pinky, and instead of Beverly telling everything, Beverly gets Kai to reveal his backstory. Now, I did not originally notice this, but a viewer pointed out to me that when we first saw Kai's and Winter's home, that there's a door up the stairs with a rose on it. That was revealed today. The rose on the door, kind of the first time I noticed it, when it was revealed that behind the door is his decomposing parents. So we learned that the backstory is that, of course, probably like any other psychopath, at least in movies and TV, there is a hard, very traumatizing backstory. And for this was about his parents. His dad was in a wheelchair, and the mom can't take much more of his crap, so she kills Kai's dad and then kills herself, and Kai, of course, witnesses. And now let's get to the big reveal that kind of called this one, not specifically, but kind of, and many other people did too. Kai calls his brother, and who is the brother? The therapist. Like, right on that scene when they're like, you know, so I called my brother, my sister and I are like, therapist. It's the therapist. And sure enough, it was the therapist. We get this idea that the therapist is pretty much originally behind it. We see him first stick out his pinky to Kai, and then Kai takes it. So that's, I assume that's where that came from. Those were pretty much the standout scenes that I had. More than ever was Ivy's reveal and Kai's backstory, and the therapist reveal that not only is he most likely in or responsible for the cult, but that he is Kai's and Winter's older brother. That part I didn't see coming, that them being related totally makes sense. So I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm gonna be honest, this episode was really, like, getting hard for me to sit through because of the unnecessary gore. Like, I was fine with how they shot and killed Bob. What was totally unnecessary was the gimp. And I'm sorry if that's a derogatory term or anything, but the guy that is like suspended from hooks and has like a mask on, that was so unnecessary. I don't see the point of that whatsoever, especially since Bob is gonna get his. He's gonna die, so I don't need to know any more about Bob other than the fact that Bob was an asshole, basically. And another whole unnecessary thing, well, it proved a point, like, to them, but the nails in the head. Now, I have to say, I do like that after the first 3 they showed the nails going in the head, they stopped showing that part and just showed the blood going down RJ's face and RJ's point of view of, like, Winter and Ivy with the nail gun. And, you know, I didn't, like, want to bring this up, but because I had, alright, so the Vegas shooting and just any other massacre that's been happening lately, I literally said this earlier that I just can't comprehend how the whole world record thing, I can't comprehend how, like, some people, if they do these awful things and they're like, oh yeah, we have to make this the largest massacre ever, we have to beat this number, that's the number to beat. And I'm just like, how can people think like that, or like you intentionally go out to do that? Because it's like a game, basically. To that person, it's like a game. If there's a record they have to beat, it's a game to them. That thought just was brought up in my head again when Kai made the remark that the world record for nails in a head is like 13 or 14, something like that, and they're like, should we break the world record? I could see behind their minds on saying that, but it was just more bothersome and hit more home with the recent events that are happening, and kind of brings back to what I've said in my first review about why am I watching something about the election that we just lived through. Kind of just like, why am I watching these people commit murders and trying to set world records when that's happening in real life right now? But this is just like getting really personal in a sense. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to address that, of why it was also really hard to watch this episode, was just the gore. And that's, other than the reveals, that's all this episode was gore. Overall, I did think this episode was fine, but because of the reveals. Like, I liked this episode because it gave us more. It revealed, it answered questions, and now I feel like we can go into the second half of this season and maybe more really unexpected things. I hope unexpected things will happen and not all the reveals of what pretty much everyone has predicted so far. So I give this episode a 7 out of 10, and mostly because of those reveals. We got answers, so yay, and I'm happy with those reveals and the answers. Thank you for watching. Let me know your predictions, your thoughts on this episode, your thoughts on this season. Let's start a conversation down below. Feel free to point more things out that maybe I didn't address or I didn't even notice when I was watching the episode, because that's happened before and it's probably not going to stop there. Thanks for watching. Remember to love others, but first and foremost, always love yourself, because you're beautiful no matter what anyone else says. Bye.